Has anybody ever gotten into your file, or maybe you've created something for someone, and maybe you're the person, you're the finance person, you're the Excel person, you created all these worksheets so people could build budgets or do prices or put inputs in and have things automatically calculated. But you've had people get in and mess up your formulas. Maybe you've messed up your own formulas. You want to be able to allow people into certain parts of sheets but not others. You want to lock information down that's highly sensitive that you don't want people to see, or you just want to limit access or the ability to make any changes whatsoever to certain types of files. So in this module, we're going to talk about file level security, cell level security, sheet level security, ways to control access or the ability to view or even get into certain sheets or parts of sheets. We're going to start with file level security. File level security is accessed from the Save As dialog box. So lots of different ways you can get into Save As. File, Save As, and it brings up the Save As dialog box. And I'm in the process of saving the file, giving it maybe a new name, a new file type, different file save location, that kind of stuff. All the classic Save As stuff that you can do. But if you want to put file level security on a file, that is, limit the ability to get into it and or make changes to it, down here at the bottom of the Save As dialog box, you're going to find the Tools button. So you click that Tools button, and I show the path here on page 13 of your workbook: File, Save As, Tools down here at the bottom, and then we're going to select General Options. And when it comes to file level security, we have these three basic options right here. You could put the password on the file to open it up. Now, when you save the file, it's pretty easy to understand. When you save the file, someone double clicks on it, including you. If there's a password on it to open, password box is going to pop open, and you're going to have to put the password in to be able to get into it. If not, you're not going to be able to get into it. Now, of course, whenever you password protect anything, you want to record that password somewhere. Take the time to do that somewhere secure but recoverable, because if you password protect anything in any Microsoft application, but you forget it or lose it, it's not an easy thing to recover from. So make sure you record that password somewhere. Don't use a password that is super easy to crack, and don't use the same password for everything, blah, blah, blah. You've heard all this before. But make sure you record that and put that somewhere safe and secure, so if you ever need to recover it, you can. So that's password to open. Now, password to modify, what that keeps people from doing if they don't have the password to modify is making and saving changes to the original file. So someone goes in and they change a formula or they change some of your data. They'll only be able to save that to the original file name if they have the password to modify, because when they do a Control S or file save, it will not let them overwrite the old file with these new changes unless they put in the password to modify. They can always create a new file. They just can't change the official file unless they have the password to do that. Now, the other setting in here, read-only recommended, that's widely misunderstood. Sometimes people think that when you check that box, you can't make changes to the file. Well, if you check that box and then open up the file again, or somebody else opens up the file, it says, it is recommended that you open this file as read-only, yes or no. Now, if you stick with yes, which is pre-highlighted, then what that means is you can make any change you want to the file. You just always have to create a new name for the file, or it will create a new name for you. It will say copy of whatever the original file name was. And you've probably seen that before. But what a lot of people don't understand about that option is right there on the front end, it gives you the option to click no. It is recommended that you open this file as read-only, yes or no. When you click no, now you have full modification capability on the original file. So a lot of people falsely think that read-only recommended is airtight file level modification security, and it is not. The only option in here that is password to modify. So at the file level, these are your options for security: the ability to get into it or not with password to open, the ability to make changes to it, to the original file, with password to modify, or read-only recommended, which quite frankly I don't have a lot of uses for. You might, but just need to know exactly how it works. And so that's how those three options work. Now let me go ahead and X out of these, and let's look at this example right here. Let's say that when I'm in update mode, or when I send this to someone and they're in update mode, I just want them to be able to get into these cells right here. So I don't want them to be able to get in and make changes to any of the labels or any of the formulas. So I will highlight the cells that I want them to still be able to get into. I call these the input cells. I'll highlight the input cells, and then I'll do format cells, either right-click format cells or Control-1 format cells, and I'm going to go over here to the protection tab of the format cells dialog box. I'm going to uncheck the locked box and then click OK. Now what I'm going to do is activate worksheet protection by clicking on the Review tab and clicking this button right here for Protect Sheet. Now, since this is only for me, I'm not going to put a password on this thing, but when I click OK, when I'm in data update mode, I'm trying to click on these cells over here and I can't. But I can click on these cells. So if I want to update information, I can only click into these cells right here. It keeps me focused on the input cells. But since I didn't put a password on it, when I'm done doing my updates, and now I want full access to everything again, I can go back up to the Review tab and click Unprotect Sheet. So that's an example of setting something up where you'd want to be able to get into some cells on the sheet, but not others. Now, another example of when you might use sheet protection is this one right here. Let's say I want to send this list to the Party Planning Committee, but I don't want the Party Planning Committee to see the hire date, the Social Security number, the annual salary, or the performance rating. So I'll go ahead and hide those columns. Now, with just a very small level of Excel knowledge, people will be able to detect that there's hidden information in between these columns and hidden columns because the letters up here are out of sequence. And even a basic Excel user can come over here and click on the Select All Cells button, double click on one of those seams and bring everything back. We don't want them to be able to do that. So with the columns hidden, what we'll do is we'll click Review, Protect Sheet, and this time we'll put a password on it. Now I'm just going to type password, P-A-S-S-W-O-R-D, just to illustrate this. Of course, that's not something you do, or don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, just make it something that's not easy to figure out, but I'll do it again. Now, when someone tries to right-click, unhide the cells, check it out. Unhide, and in fact, all of these things are grayed out because sheet protection is in place. Now, even a basic Excel user that knows just a little bit about protection might know to go to the Review tab and click Unprotect Sheet. But when they do that in this case, in order to get it unprotected, they're going to have to put in the password. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the password. And when I do, now I'll have the ability to unhide those columns, right? So the bottom line is you have file level options to save a file or to be able to save it, open it, make changes to it as its original name. So there's all sorts of options there. Access through the File Save As dialog box. And then you have the ability to protect and lock certain cells but not others in a particular sheet, or lock down whole sections of sheets. Those are all explained to you there on page 13 of your workbook. So lock it down, make it tight, make it so people can't mess up your stuff or see information they shouldn't be seeing with file level, cell level, and sheet level protection options. Boom shakalaka.